Welcome, brave souls, to the tale of a haunted retail store that hides a dark secret beneath its polished aisles and festive displays. This is the story of the Target store, where an eerie past intertwines with the present, leaving a trail of unsettling events that no one can explain. Before this bustling store stood, an old house belonging to Mrs. Jenkins occupied this land. Her mysterious disappearance set the stage for a series of chilling encounters that would haunt the store for years to come. Join us as we uncover the spine-tingling experiences of Lisa, a young employee whose late shifts turned into a nightmare, and her friend Mark, who bravely stood by her side. Together, they navigate the shadowy aisles, face the whispers of the past, and confront the restless spirit that lingers within the walls of the Target store. Prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown, where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs, and every corner holds a new terror. This is the story of the haunted Target, where the past never truly lets go. We all know of a big retail store called Target, known for its great deals and friendly staff. Target has always been busy with shoppers, especially during the holidays, but there was a dark secret hidden in its past that no one knew about. A long time ago, before the first Target was built, there was a small house on the same land. A woman named Mrs. Jenkins lived there. She was known as a kind old lady who loved gardening, but one day something terrible happened. Mrs. Jenkins disappeared, and no one ever saw her again. Some people said she had moved away. Some people said corporate had something to do with it, but others believed something sinister had happened. Who knows? Months went by and the house was torn down to make way for the new Target. The store was built quickly, and soon it was filled with happy shoppers, but strange things started to happen. Items would go missing, shelves would be knocked over, and strange noises could be heard at night. The employees would often feel cold spots and see shadows moving when no one was there. One evening, a young employee named Lisa was working the late shift. She was stocking shelves in the toy aisle when she heard a soft whisper. She looked around, but no one was there. She shrugged it off and continued working. Suddenly, a doll fell off the shelf and landed at her feet. It was an old-fashioned doll, one that Target didn't even sell. Lisa picked it up and felt a chill run down her spine. The doll's eyes seemed to be staring right at her. Lisa quickly put the doll back on the shelf and moved to another aisle, but the whispers followed her. She could hear them calling her name.
Lisa. Lisa.
She was terrified. She ran to the manager's office to tell Mr. Thomas, the store manager, what had happened. But when she got there, Mr. Thomas was gone. The office was empty. Feeling uneasy, Lisa decided to leave for the night. As she walked to her car, she felt someone watching her. She turned around, but the parking lot was empty. She hurried to her car, got in, and drove home as fast as she could. The next day, Lisa told her friends at work about the strange events. They laughed and said she was just imagining things. But Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. She decided to do some research on the land where Target was built. She discovered the story of Mrs. Jenkins and her mysterious disappearance. Lisa was convinced that Mrs. Jenkins's spirit was haunting the store. That night, Lisa and her friend Mark decided to investigate. They stayed late after the store closed and brought a camera to record any strange activity. As they walked through the dark, empty aisles, they heard footsteps behind them. They turned around, but no one was there. Suddenly, the lights flickered and the whispers started again.
Lisa. Mark.
Terrified, they ran to the back of the store, but the whispers grew louder. The temperature dropped, and they could see their breath in the cold air. They reached the toy aisle, and there on the floor was the same old-fashioned doll. It looked even more sinister in the dim light. Mark picked up the doll, and they heard a voice behind them.
Leave this place.
They turned around and saw a faint figure of an old woman. It was Mrs. Jenkins. Her eyes were filled with sadness and anger.
"We're sorry,"
Lisa said, her voice trembling.
"We didn't mean to disturb you."
The figure pointed to the ground, and Lisa realized she was standing in the exact spot where Mrs. Jenkins's house used to be. They backed away slowly, and the figure faded into the darkness. The whispers stopped, and the store was silent. The next day, Lisa and Mark told Mr. Thomas about their experience. He was skeptical, but agreed to have a priest bless the store. He didn't want to take any chances of anyone being hurt, so he didn't see the harm in taking Lisa's advice. Inside the Target store during the day, a priest named Father Miguel arrives to perform a blessing. The store is well lit and has a calm atmosphere. Father Miguel, dressed in traditional clerical attire, meets with Lisa, Mark, and Mr. Thomas near the entrance. Father Miguel begins the blessing, holding a cross and sprinkling holy water as he moves through the aisles. At first, the store remains calm, but as he continues, the atmosphere starts to change. Shadows lengthen and the temperature drops. Suddenly, an eerie wind sweeps through the store and the lights flicker. The faint figure of Mrs. Jenkins appears, her eyes now filled with rage. She lashes out, trying to stop Father Miguel. Lisa, Mark, and Mr. Thomas working together. They try to fend off the spirit's attacks. Lisa grabs a nearby broom and swings at the shadows. Mark uses a flashlight to cut through the darkness, and Mr. Thomas uses a makeshift shield to protect Father Miguel. Father Miguel continues the blessing with unwavering determination.
Stay strong. We can do this.
Mrs. Jenkins' spirit grows more aggressive, knocking over shelves and sending items flying. The store becomes a battleground, with Lisa, Mark, and Mr. Thomas dodging and deflecting her attacks. Finally, with a final prayer and a firm sprinkling of holy water, Father Miguel completes the blessing. A blinding light fills the store, and Mrs. Jenkins' spirit lets out a final, anguished scream before dissolving into the air. The store falls silent and the temperature returns to normal. Lisa, Mark, and Mr. Thomas finally taking a breath as a sign of relief as Father Miguel lowers his cross.
It's over. The store is now free of her spirit.
Thank you, Father. We couldn't have done it without you.
We did it. Together. The store finally feels peaceful.
The store now feels warm and welcoming, contrasting with the eerie atmosphere that had plagued it for so long. Lisa and Mark share a relieved smile, knowing they played a part in bringing peace to the haunted target. But Lisa and Mark would never forget that night. They knew that Mrs. Jenkins' spirit was finally at peace, but they could still feel her presence whenever they walked through the toy aisle. And every now and then, an old-fashioned doll would appear on the shelf, a reminder of the haunted past of Target. And so, dear listeners, the tale of the haunted Target comes to a close. Lisa and Mark's brave journey through the eerie aisles and their encounter with the restless spirit of Mrs. Jenkins remind us that the past can cast long shadows on the present. Thanks to their courage and determination, the haunting finally ceased, bringing peace to both the store and Mrs. Jenkins' spirit. Yet, as the old-fashioned doll occasionally reappears on the shelves, it serves as a haunting reminder of the mysteries that once plagued this bustling retail haven. The whispers are gone, and the store is warm and welcoming again, but the echoes of the past remain. Remember, next time you find yourself wandering the aisles of your local Target, keep an eye out for the unexplained. The ordinary can hide the extraordinary, and the mundane can mask the mysterious. If you enjoyed this spine-chilling tale, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more haunting stories. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of our thrilling adventures into the unknown. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the shadows. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and never stop exploring the mysteries around you. Good night, and sweet dreams.